Northview fam, as we get ready for Kickoff Sunday, which is just a short time away, this Sunday, September 11th, I have a couple encouragements for us because I truly believe this is a Sunday that's unique, where eternity hangs in the balance. People's lives hang in the balance. How they perceive church is how they will end up perceiving being part of God's family and following Jesus. So it's such a great opportunity, not something to be scared of, but something to be in prayer about. So firstly, let's be interceding for this time. I thought this week about really how I've learned over time Jesus's emphasis on helping people who felt far away and pulling them close. The prodigal son, it says, the father ran out to meet this rebellious son to bring him back into the family. The same way God's heart is to help us when we're far away come back and be part of the family of God. We think about Jesus when there were little children and the disciples were wanting to push them away. Jesus said, no, let the little children come to me. When the woman with bleeding for 12 years touched the fringe of the robe, Jesus said, who touched me? He wanted to find out, even though there was a crowd around him, that Jesus had not pushed away. There are just so many times where Jesus is saying things like, doesn't a shepherd leave the 99 to bring the one sheep back? God is all about bringing people who are far away close. So there's a few ways that we can express that starting this week at Northview. The first thing, and I'm really proud of Paisley and the team at NorthBrew, because they're extending the NorthBrew hours to 12:15 p.m. That means you can go to first service or serve at first service, and you can even, if you want, get a coffee with a friend during second service, unless, of course, you're in church. A beautiful thing to do. You can also, as you're leaving second service, grab a coffee with a friend for the road. But what a beautiful thing to create an environment where relationships can be built, where conversations can start, because we believe the longer the linger, the stronger the member. It's not about being a big church. It's about being a church that facilitates community and relationship that through the power of Jesus and his Holy Spirit can change our life. The second thing I'm going to ask us to do, and this might be different for some of us, but I'm going to ask every one of us to sit as close to the front of the church as possible. I'd say, Dave, I kind of have my assigned seat at church. I wouldn't want to confuse people. I know, but as we sit towards the front, we're communicating so much. In your life, what you do outwardly will so often reflect what you want to have happen internally. When we sit towards the front, we're communicating to the new person, there's life here, there's value here, and I want to be here. So many of us were like, well, of course I want to be here. But to a new person, when they see people pressing in, leaning in, coming forward, sitting, having a presence towards the front of the room, it creates an environment of excitement, not for hype, but for life change. If God is doing something in that person's life and they're motivated to do that, maybe God could do something unique in my life as well. So Northbrew being open to have community, also sitting towards the front, leaning in, being engaged with worship and the message. And then also we're having water baptisms after each service on Sunday. And we're going to once again allow people to make that decision on the spot to be water baptized, and then follow up with them after the fact of some practical things that they can appreciate about the decision that they made. So parking in the back, sitting at the front, that's one thing we want everybody to be doing. Another thing is taking advantage of the NorthBrew extended hours to facilitate community and relationship. And then overall, just leaning into things like water baptism. It's just so beautiful because Jesus was so much about being close. Proximity is so much associated with our perception of God and our relationship with God. I'm excited for Sunday. I hope you are too. But more importantly, let's be praying and interceding that people would not just come to a church that they feel like is cool, not just be part of an experience, but to truly themselves experience the power of the Holy Spirit. Love you guys. Have a great week. We will see you in just a few days, hours, or whenever you watch this video.